So, hey guys, welcome to our webinar on meaningful extracurriculars in COVID-19 edition. I'm Xiaomian, and I am an incoming freshman at Stanford. And Lauren, do you want to go next?
Yeah. Hi, I'm Lauren. I am a sophomore at Georgetown University, and I plan on majoring in Justice and Peace Studies and Women and Gender Studies.
Hi, I'm George. I'm a sophomore at UCLA, and I'm planning on majoring in astrobiology.
And finally, we're partnered with Bruen. Check out their resources and their weekly website. They're amazing in offering students a ton of resources for helping them through high school.
This week's mental health check-in tip is about considering your mental health when getting involved. So this webinar is all going to be on extracurriculars, but even beforehand, understanding because we're in a pandemic, we know that everyone is in completely different situations. Your mindset could be all over the place. There's so many things going down right now. So it's really important that you take care of yourself, that you keep what you can in your life in control. And just like a mini anecdote, it's a lot better to engage in self-care, even when you're doing a million things, and to even invest time in it. Like junior year, I was doing a lot of things, and senior year I did even more things. But the difference was that senior year I also invested in talking with my friends, hanging out with my friends, FaceTiming friends is a huge thing right now. Just doing little things that made me feel better. Rest, a huge thing. Getting sleep whenever you can. And I felt so much happier senior year than junior year. Even if I had less time, I think wise investments of time, especially for self-care, are super important. So please remember that going into this presentation.
Next, we're going to talk about the roadmap for this webinar. And the webinar is going to be broken down into three main sections. First, we're going to talk about finding extracurricular activities. And that's when some of the BHS club presidents are going to talk about what they've been doing during COVID. Second, we're going to talk about making activities meaningful. And George, Xiaomian, and I are going to share our own stories of how we pursued extracurriculars and made them meaningful. And then the third section is scheduling and self-care. And we're going to talk about different tips to balance a busy schedule and still have good mental health. And at the end, we're going to have a Q&A. So at any time during this presentation, if you have any questions at all, privately message George in the Zoom chat, and we will get to all of your questions at the end.
So first, we'll be sharing some resources and finding extracurricular activities. This first stage is to explore your hobbies and find your passion to deepen your experience in the subject matter. So first, we'll be introducing some random clubs and organizations that you can join to explore different hobbies. Clubs allow you to join with flexible time commitment. And roughly speaking, service clubs allow you to explore different activism topics and find different ways to advocate for your beliefs. Competition-oriented clubs give you the opportunity to explore your academic interest and perhaps even compete in competitions. So as you begin to explore these new ideas, you will find yourself immersed in projects that you care more about. And that leads to the possibility of longevity in engaging in an organization to do something you love to do. Another possibility is that you will find yourself coming up with new ideas to continue your passion. Longevity and innovations are both really important factors in creating meaningful extracurricular activities. Some examples of random organizations other than student-run clubs are ASB for student leadership, the band program, and sports. You will find yourself grow as a leader, a teammate, and communicator participating in these programs along with clubs, all of which can additionally be talked about in your college essays. So to give you some ideas of what clubs are doing in COVID, we have invited several clubs to share their stories. We hope that what they're doing will inspire you in what you can accomplish during this pandemic. So first, we have SPARE.
Thank you, Xiaomian. Hi, everyone. I'm Naya, and I'm the current president of SPARE. SPARE stands for Students Promoting Awareness of Recycling and the Environment and we are a student-run service/charity club dedicated to promoting environmental stewardship in fun and effective ways. During a typical school year, we would have on-campus events and off-campus events, and we will hold weekly volunteer events. However, this year, especially for this semester, we are focusing on online events and offline events. Our consistent offline event is our weekly Wednesday beautifications. They are at Brandon Park, and they will be held from 5 to 6 p.m. Please do not feel pressure to come to this unless you are completely comfortable with going out in public. We do require all club members and volunteers to wear masks and bring gloves as well. Again, do not feel pressured to come to these events because we also have online events as well. Some of the ones we have planned are environmental awareness Zoom workshops and videos and live streams, as well as a virtual garden designing competition through Minecraft. We will be talking more about this at our first meeting, which will be on August 25th from 3 to 3:30 p.m. Our normal club meetings will be held every other Tuesday from 3 to 3:30 p.m. They'll be after school, so make sure to check us out. The Zoom link is in our Instagram bio currently, and we will also be sending it out every week through Remind. So make sure to join us there by texting at SPARE2020 to 810-810. I think that's all I have for today. So thank you for listening. Take care and have a great day.
Okay. Hi guys. So I'm James. I'm the president of Bionic Burns. The Bionic Burns is Brannan's robotics club, and with over 40 members, we've got about 4 competitive teams, I think, this year. We're one of the largest STEM clubs on campus. So our goal is to provide a creative workspace where members are inspired to attain personal and technical growth in a variety of STEM fields through VEX robotics, outreach events, and peer collaboration. That's kind of our on-paper goal. Essentially what that means is we build robots. We compete with other teams from different high schools with these robots that we build. Unfortunately, this has been put on hold at the moment due to COVID. It requires a lot of in-person building. So we've been trying to prepare for when we can return. We're hosting a number of workshops. We were over the summer. We're going to start up doing some more soon in a few weeks, including things about basic and more advanced programming, online design, other STEM concepts. So we want to have our designs and plans completed, so when we return, we can continue the season and we'll be just as prepared, if not more prepared than most years. So if you want to join the club, you can head to our website. It's bionicburns.org. There's a little join button right at the top. Or you can go to bionicburns.org/join. You can also head over to our Instagram that has all our information at Bionic Burns. And so the website has all the information you need to join. There's a couple steps. It's a really quick process. We accept everyone, no matter the skill levels, prior experience. Anyone can come join in our workshops, and we'll make sure that by the time COVID's over, you'll be able to be a great member and productive member of the club. So yeah.
Hi there, guys. My name is Charlie, and I'm the president of Best Buddies. And I understand that not every one of you may know exactly what Best Buddies is or does, and that's what I'm here to talk about. So Best Buddies is a club focused on working to close the divide between students with intellectual and developmental disabilities and those without. And so far too often at school, and especially during a pandemic, kids with disabilities are left out of some of the best parts of high school, like things that you take for granted, like attending events, going to dances, and even meeting new people, because they're not designed for them and they feel kind of uncomfortable. And so at our club, we work to close this divide through one-on-one friendships. So if you join the club as a peer buddy, you're going to be paired with a buddy, someone with an intellectual or developmental disability, who you're going to spend the year building a friendship with. And you're going to have a ton of fun with your buddy. Like my buddy Angelo last year, he's one of my best friends. And so the point of the club isn't that you're only here to serve those with disabilities, but that you're getting something out of it. It's kind of a reciprocal relationship. So in Best Buddies, you'll find a community where you feel comfortable, because at our club, no one's just judged for what makes them unique. And everyone can really kind of be your truest self while building friendships with other people. So in normal years, we would attend football and basketball games, go to Christmas in the park, and of course have our 200-person prom at the end of the year. But because this year is going to be a whole lot different, we can't do any major in-person events right now. So we're holding weekly Zoom meetings. And if you join as a peer buddy, you will be paired with a buddy, so you will probably FaceTime them on your own, text them, get to know them well. So the other thing that's good about Best Buddies is we're a great club to get involved in. We have a big board. Every year our board's about 9 or 10 people. And just so you know, if you're a freshman or sophomore, next year 7 of our 9 board members are graduating. So there's going to be a lot of spots that need to be filled. And if it's something that you think you'd be passionate about or enjoy, and you could definitely make a positive difference, I think you'd like Best Buddies. So if you have any questions, feel free to email me. And we're having our first meeting tomorrow. I'd love to see you guys. And join our Remind. I think it's on the presentation. Yeah, right there.
Hey y'all, what's up? I'm Alex, and I'm going to talk to you about Quiz Bowl. So Quiz Bowl is basically all about academic and knowledge-based competitions. Think Jeopardy, but without prize money because we're all in high school. No Alex Trebek either. So we compete in competitions that have taken us across the world, including to places like the Netherlands, where we competed with scholars from more than 80 countries in the World Scholars Cup. So in order to adapt to the pandemic, we've taken all of our meetings, practices, and competitions online this year, but we're still going to be doing them as usual. And if you join our club, you'll get the opportunity to compete with and connect with scholars all across the world. If you want to join our club, all you have to do is join a Remind at BH Quiz, and you can join a truly global community of people who love learning. Yeah, I really encourage you to check us out. There's a lot of great opportunities, and it's an experience you'll never forget. And I'm also the president of Speech and Debate, so I'm going to plug that here too. Speech and Debate, I think the name is pretty self-explanatory. We compete in competitive speech and debate competitions, which are typically held at local universities. And so there's lots of different events, no matter what your interest is. So if you're really interested in public policy, maybe recent events regarding coronavirus or Black Lives Matter have gotten you more interested in those kinds of things. You can debate with other people about some of the most important issues facing us today, from climate change to reforming our justice system. But if you're not so into the debate aspect, you can also take part in speech, and there's tons of different speech events, from things that are closer to acting to extemporaneous speaking, where you only have a few minutes to come up with a full speech. So again, this is a really great community of people, and our program isn't going to change that much this year. Tournaments are still going to happen. We're still going to hold our practices and meetings online. I encourage you to join us by joining our Remind at BHS Speaker on the bottom of the screen.
Hi everyone, my name is Sean Sakai and I'm the president of Bruen Key Club.
What's up? I'm Joshua Perez and I'm the VP of Bruen Key Club.
And we're here to talk a little bit about what Key Club is, our future plans for this year, and also ways to join if you're interested. So basically, Key Club is a student-led high school service organization that strives to spread leadership through serving others. And we also work to empower others from the small endeavors we make, hoping to create a bigger impact in result.
We're going to host a variety of virtual and in-person service events as well as projects. And due to the pandemic, we are hosting our Zoom meetings every other Tuesday. And you should totally check us out next Tuesday and get more info.
Yes, so if you're interested in joining our club, please join our Remind for all our future updates. It's on the screen, just text at BHSKC21.
Follow us on our Instagram and also sign up on our Google form, tinyurl.com/brandomkc.
And if you have any questions about our club or what we're planning to do, please email us, which is on the screen as well, which is brandom.keyclub@gmail.com. And we can also answer any of your guys' questions during the Q&A. So yeah, thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Tommy Son. I am a senior at Branham High School and the president of Bruen to Bruen. We are a service club that provides free tutoring to all Bruins. We currently have around 65 tutors available to cover all the subjects offered at Branham. Over the summer, we expanded our programs to ELD students and creating AP guides, and even worked with our amazing Branham alumni. You can check out our guides on our website at bruentobrewen.weebly.com. And just a week ago, we worked with the administration to put together YouTube videos and webinars to help all of you adapt to Canvas. In this new school year, our main focus is to help you and all other Bruins in whatever academic endeavors that you might have. We are not as impacted by distance learning because all of our tutoring can be done virtually. And we actually anticipate more students who need help this year. So we would love to have you join us as a tutor in whatever academic subject that you can help in. We'll be holding our club meetings every other Wednesday. So please join our Remind app B2 Branham for updates. It should be down on the slide presentation. And you can reach us through any of the social media handles below, or email us at bruentobrewen@gmail.com. All of those information will be sent out in the post-webinar resources. Thank you.
So now we're gonna have a little Q&A. So if you have any questions for the clubs, you can just put your questions in the Zoom chat, and then yeah, we'll just do it that way. I'm not seeing any questions. We'll wait a couple more seconds and then we'll move on.
Feel free to ask anything, and they can share their Instagrams or anything in the chat too if you guys want.
Oh yeah. If you have any websites or stuff, you guys can type it in.
Oh, I have one question. Is it still recommended to do service type extracurricular activities such as NHS, Key Club? Did any of you guys do service extracurriculars? I can elaborate more at the end too. But yeah, Key Club is clearly still doing a lot of activities. Even online, there's still so much we can do online. Oh, also can you go back to the Bruen to Bruen slide?
Yeah, of course. I don't know how to go back, but, oh, no, that's forward. I don't think, I'm sorry, I'm not very good at Zoom.
Can you do escape button? Escape?
Escape?
Yeah.
No, it's not letting me.
Oh, okay.
Could you drop the information in the Zoom chat maybe?
Yeah.
Sorry. Okay, any other questions, George?
Oh yeah, I'm not sure exactly what NHS is doing this year. But yeah, there's a lot of clubs you can join. Key Club, clearly any of these clubs here. So whichever one you feel like you'd feel best getting involved in, then go for that one.
Yeah, and also we're going to be sending out in our Google Classroom, we have a list of all of the different clubs at Branham. So these are only just a couple clubs. There are tons more to join. So yeah.
Oh, sorry, another question. Someone said that their dream school is UCLA. As a junior, is it too late to join clubs to put on their apps, or does it only look like they're going to be for the apps? No, I mean, though I feel like the best thing I did that I put on my apps, I did the summer before senior year, actually. So yeah, it's never too late to get involved. As long, like, if you're going far in whatever you're doing, or if like you just feel passionate for it, definitely go for it. You can get involved at any point. There's always time, I feel like, especially like if it's something you're passionate about. And good luck applying to UCLA. If you have any questions, feel free to email us and contact us through individualized tutoring. Yeah, so go for it.
I think if there's no questions like specifically for the clubs, we can probably move on and answer the rest of the questions later on.
Thank you for all the clubs who joined us. You guys did great.
Oh, so now we're going to be moving into internships and programs as a form of extracurricular and the difference between the two. So internships are innately a sort of competitive program, And one thing that's striking with internships is that you can engage in academic research and also earn money as an intern. That doesn't apply to all internships, but that does apply to quite a few. And this still applies to internships online. Potentially, there's still work that you can do online, especially for CS internships, and even all kinds of STEM internships, although some are in person if they're essential. So when you apply, the application itself is not often costly, but it is competitive. There are different things you can put on your application, but definitely make sure that you have some background. But even when you're getting started with internships, there's internships of all kinds of levels. So you can start applying whatever point you are as a student. Just gaining that application experience is a great thing, and you never know, you could get in. And from an internship and from a program, you can gain a lot of work experience, working under professors and workers in their respective fields, delving into a specific field that you're possibly passionate about and gaining research experience, even seeing like experimentally if you really want to be interested in that field, if that's something you see yourself doing in college or as a career in general. And it's a huge boon for college essays and apps specifically if you have a really meaningful experience of that internship and you move forward with that experience into your personal life, into your career, then that's definitely something you might want to write about. Programs can be costly and less competitive. Those are also more often educational than like work experience, but there are still often some work opportunities such as camp counselors that still counts. You can earn money there too, but that is considered either a job or a program. In terms of cost, if you're like paying to get educated, there are often fee waivers. So if you are coming from a low income background, don't let that steer you away. There can still be a huge boon of learning from experienced professors who have done so much work in the field. And they're also definitely going to be cheaper in quarantine. So maximize your time now. So whether or not you want to go into a program or an internship, these are both things that you can definitely put on your apps or your essays. So make sure you start doing your research, Googling different universities. They have a lot of programs and internships, and seeing where you can get involved.
Yeah, and sorry, adding on to what George was saying, COVID-19 is a really unique situation because so many internships are remote right now. So this summer, I worked with San Diego State University. So even though I wasn't in San Diego State, I was still able to work with them. And then this fall, I'm going to be working with an organization based in DC. So since we're in a global pandemic, you can your opportunities to intern have expanded tremendously.
On a few people already asking where they can find internships and programs. And the clubs that we listed are definitely things you can get invested in, but there's also going to be more information in our post-webinar email. So look out for that.
We're actually not going to be posting the resources in emails anymore. We're actually going to be posting them on our Classroom.
Google Classroom, yeah.
We'll talk about that later.
So another way that you can get involved in extracurricular is by having a job. Jobs can be either career or community oriented. For example, you can tutor students subjects you are passionate about and are really good at. That will be career oriented, like what Bruen is doing with individualized tutoring. These jobs include math tutoring and music lessons, etc. And community-oriented jobs can be helping help work professions with PPE delivery or making, restaurant services, and cashiers. So with a job, you have earnings, and you can do something meaningful with your salary. For example, you can help support your family or support a cause that you believe in and are advocating for. Likewise, you can also use your earning to support yourself to become more independent, which is also another aspect. Finally, a job also requires significant responsibilities. Jobs will not tolerate late assignments or mistakes as much as teachers will. And a continuation of having a job shows your commitment and responsibility. And lastly, if you're considering jobs, internships, and programs, you can start getting your LinkedIn early on and start adding in your profile, your achievements, so that job finders can be able to find you through LinkedIn. And it's always not going to hurt you if you make connections early on.
And next we're going to be talking about community service and activism. So given the current state of our world, there are actually an abundance of opportunities available to high school students to get involved in both of these areas. First of all, you could get involved on campus through service-based clubs. Now, if you're new to community service and want to get involved, I would definitely recommend joining a club like Key Club, Interact, or NHS, because they're great in connecting students to different types of service opportunities. So you can explore different areas and find an issue that you're really passionate about. And they also do it in a really fun way. And then if you're passionate about a specific topic, you can either find a club that aligns with your passion, or you can make your own. And in our Google Classroom, we'll have a document created by Saketh where it explains that whole process. And regardless of what type of club you join, make sure that when you're in the club, you're not just attending meetings, but you're really contributing to the club in a meaningful way, whether that's in a leadership position or really volunteering at every single event in whatever way feels comfortable for you. The second way is getting involved in nonprofits, and that will help you to get involved on a local, national, or global scale. And so many students either volunteer consistently with a nonprofit, or you can pursue an internship with them, and others create fundraisers and donate the proceeds to a certain nonprofit. So any of those work. And the third type of way to get involved is by creating your own project. And so if there's a certain issue that you're really passionate about, you can do extensive research on that issue and find different ways that it's been addressed in the past. And then you can reflect on your own skills and how you can use those skills to make a difference in your community. For example, if you're a writer, you can compose an op-ed and publish that. Or if you're an artist, you can create a painting or crafts and sell them and donate the proceeds. Or if you're a great organizer, you can organize a donation drop-off or even a protest. So the possibilities are really endless. And regardless of whichever of these three methods you choose to pursue, or a different one that we didn't include, make sure that you can answer the following questions. First, why did you do that activity? And hopefully it stems from a genuine passion for that area of service and not out of some obligation. And if you're having trouble finding something that you're really passionate about, keep trying different types of service opportunities and you'll eventually find one that resonates with you. Second, make sure you know what impact you're making. And it doesn't necessarily have to be you impacting tons and tons of people. If you impact just a couple people, but in a really meaningful way, that's also really great. But just make sure you have some amount of impact on your community. And three, know how this service activity or activism impacted you as a person. Whether it changed your worldview, or it helped you develop certain skills, or it changed your future aspirations in life. But definitely make sure that you can answer all three of those questions, because those will be big things that your college applications will ask you about.
And finally, we'll be covering how you can turn your hobbies into passions. So many of you might ask, I did something I love to do, but it's not really official. Does that still matter? And yes, it does. So to turn a hobby into a more meaningful activity, you can ask yourself how you can expand your hobby to reflect your personal values or help others in particular ways. This can be done individually. For example, I use my engineering skills to fix a keychain, which George mentioned early on. Basically, a month after purchasing an MIT keychain from the campus, the keychain broke in my bag, and I was horrified because I thought it was like a bad omen, so I really wanted to fix a keychain. So by myself, I used what I learned in my Project Lead the Way classes and engineering program at Bruen, and went through the process of brainstorming, prototyping, and 3D modeling to fix my keychain, which is pictured on the right of the presentation. And these skills I learned through my engineering classes. So I also wrote down my progress in my engineering notebook. This process was entirely personal and done by myself, but I found it exciting and meaningful because I wanted to become an engineer solving real problems, even though it is quite small. To summarize, your personal projects can be meaningful to you, and this in turn promotes personal growth. And since personal projects like these are informal, we encourage you not to put this in your resume or extracurricular sections in your college applications. However, you can definitely use this as a prompt for college essays.
And next, we're going to move on to talking about our own extracurricular activities and how we made them meaningful. So I'm going to be going first. So in high school, I pursued several different extracurriculars, but two that were the most meaningful to me was creating a service student organization called Bliss, and also holding many leadership positions in the marching band. And these two activities were meaningful to me for a variety of different reasons. First of all, they involved music and serving my community, two things that I'm super passionate about. So my advice for you is that when you're trying to figure out which activities to pursue, definitely reflect on what you're passionate about and what brings you joy, and pursue those things. Second, these activities required me to exercise my entrepreneurial spirit. So for Bliss, I was creating my own club. So that required innovative thinking and also risk-taking. As a sophomore, I realized that nursing homes and memory care facilities can be really isolating to elderly residents. So once I found this issue, I tried to reflect on my own skills and how I could address this issue. And I also started researching different nonprofits that were also trying to address that problem. And then once I decided to create a club and bring Bruen students to come perform music at these nursing homes and memory care facilities, I had to reach out to these locations and schedule performances. And at first that was really nerve-wracking, talking to adults and that I didn't know, but eventually got easier over time. And then I had to establish my actual club and mobilize students to join my cause. So that was how I was entrepreneurial for Bliss. And then for marching band, I was activities director, and then I was also flute section leader. So although these were already established positions, I still had to take initiative and innovate. And when I was organizing activities for the marching band, the staff didn't really give me much guidance. They let me figure it out on my own. So I used a lot of trial and error, and I collaborated with other student leaders and was able to put on really great events. And so through paving my own path in both of these activities, it made them way more exciting and meaningful. And so my advice to you guys, my second piece of advice, is whatever activities you decide to pursue, make sure that you have the freedom to take initiative and take risks and innovate, just like an entrepreneur. And then the third reason why these were meaningful was because I was able to have a really profound impact on my community. Through organizing team building activities, I was able to boost morale and increase cohesiveness within my band, which contributed to the outcome of our season. And then through Bliss, I was able to organize 11 different performances and I spread joy and human interaction to 220 elderly residents. Also through Bliss, we were invited to perform at the Cornerstone Awards ceremony, which was in the photo. And we were also invited to Superintendent Bravo's State of the District event. And so through those two opportunities, we were able to spread the message of the importance of mental health awareness to 900 educators through our singing. So my last piece of advice is that whatever activities you decide to pursue, try to find ones where you can positively contribute to your community, because that's really meaningful and also super fulfilling.
My activism sort of starts with my background, and my family has always had trouble with mental health issues and a lot of like intertwined background secrets. So I came into like high school already sort of passionate about psychology and curious to see like what I could do. So like during doing research junior year, getting ready for senior year, because I had heard that internships were super valuable. I was just looking on different university websites, and in the Stanford neuroscience department, I found this internship for clinical neuroscientific research and learning from professors. And it definitely appealed to me. And I just went for it, even though I didn't really necessarily have any like background experience. But I got in, and so I went into the summer super excited, but also sort of reserved because I didn't know like how open I would want to be with like a bunch of strangers that I had no idea about. But 5 minutes in, we're molding like brains out of Play-Doh, and I'm like cackling with my friends, newly made friends. So yeah, I think immediately I was able to sort of open up about things that I had before found personal, and slowly through activism turned into a sort of passion. Throughout the program, I was able to learn under like these doctors and medical professionals and surgeons and researchers, and we interacted with all the different kinds of patients, people with HIV, people with neurosyphilis, different humans, and it was super humanizing meeting all these different kinds of people and their life experiences. And then working with students who also had completely different reasons for wanting to be involved in neuroscience. And at the end, we were preparing this sort of capstone, which is like a summative like project. And we had to create a presentation and basically create a program from scratch that we wanted to implement in the community. And my group focused on Stockholm Syndrome, which is this prevalent sort of manipulative, abusive relationship common in abusive households, human trafficking, and youth to adult inappropriate relations. So we sort of like began observing this psychologically, neurologically. We created this sort of online program with flyers, sort of placing flyers into different school supplies, talking at schools, talking at different congregations, and we presented to the Stanford board, and we had gotten approved. But after the sort of summer ended, we didn't really know where to go with this sort of program. So I had the idea, talking just like about my experiences with Lauren actually, to create the Athena Club at Bruen. And this was sort of carrying forward something that started with my background to a summer internship all the way to my career, because I also applied as a neuroscience major and still feel pretty passionate about neuro research. And at Bruen, I was still able to do things, still able to create flyers and create like genuine small changes in the community. And I think that's what was most important for me, carrying forward something personal into my career, into just everywhere in my life. And I think that's something really important. If you have something in your background that you feel passionate about, that is something vulnerable, and you're ready to share it, it can be a huge driving force. It can connect you to so many different people. It might feel lonely sometimes, but it doesn't have to. And yeah, it can become a huge part of your life if you let it.
So finally, my story is on how I beautified a neighborhood. So when I was a freshman, I was interested in this fair club because I wanted to help take care of my campus. And so throughout the year, I did general beautifications and recycling in Bruen High School, as well as at the local Bruen Park. And as I've familiarized with my club, I developed a passion for environmentalism. In sophomore year, I began leading beautifications at the Bruen Park. So throughout that year, I learned a lot of skills, like communicating with professionals from the park and from the school staff members to seek approval for my beautification events, as well as learning how to multitask, because I had to delegate tasks to volunteers while keeping an eye on what they're doing, as well as doing my own volunteer work. Throughout the year, I wanted to do something more than just the general beautification and the weeding that we've been doing at the park. So I thought about a project. I wanted to beautify a 2,500 barren plot of land, square feet barren plot of land, with California native gardens to showcase the different regions in California. This was also a concept known as xeriscaping, which is using local native plants to conserve natural resources while beautifying the community. In my Native Gardens project, I consulted many experts and I led volunteers during our beautifications. Along with that, I received a lot of help from my club officers, members, and community members. We worked in the rainy days and the sunny ones, but through it all, in half a year, we finished the Native Gardens and now we're maintaining it. The highlight of this project was that it was done mostly by students, despite us asking for help from experts and professionals and teachers. We designed our own gardens, researched plants that we were passionate about and that would suit the gardens, and we reached out to community members for volunteer work, and we also hosted a music festival to celebrate our achievement. At the end of the project, the Soundscape Parks advocates actually came to Spare and asked us to present our projects to different high school students to inspire them to do their escaping projects. And I realized through this project that students who might not be as knowledgeable as professionals can still do something and inspire the community. And this truly motivated me to do more work with increasing native landscapes in California to conserve diminishing natural resources, which I hope to keep on pursuing in college. So those were our stories. We hope that they're inspiring to you. And here are a few takeaways that we want to point out. First of all, you can definitely make a positive impact in your community, whether how big it is or whether you're just a student or not. And number two, don't be scared to surpass your challenges, your fears, and it can lead to greatness. And number three, do something that not only inspires others, but also you. Do something that excites you. And number four, it's okay to ask help from your peers, your friends, and most importantly, experts and adults who can provide professional advice to guide you along your journey.
And next, we're going to talk about balancing a busy schedule.
So our first tip is organizing your schedule, which is extremely important if you have a ton of activities. And if done consistently, it will give you a happier and more stress-free high school experience. So first, I personally use calendar to book time for specific tasks per day. So in this example, I block my time into 3 sections, separated by lunch, dinner. And I also made a rule to sleep at 11:30. Then I consider what task I must complete. In this example, I said that before lunch, I must finish my homework assignment and practice flute. In the afternoon, I will finish some club activities that I might attend, as well as doing some college essays. So, and updating a rough outline of what I would do with every section of my time. So, and then the night before the next day, I create a rough outline for the next day as well. When you do this consistently, you will know how much you can accomplish in a single day. And it can be surprising how much more you can accomplish when you know what you're doing instead of thinking about what you want to do. I want to also note that this schedule is just a brainstorm. I'm often very flexible and move activities around, which is totally fine. In addition, you can put in any events you have on your Google Calendar for the future so you don't forget to attend them. Another free app that you can keep track on your schedule is Trello. And basically it separates into different sections for to-do, doing, or done lists, or any sections that you personalize. And I found this great for long-term task managing and breaking up bigger tasks into smaller assignments through checklists in each assignment. And to summarize, you can use your calendar to remind yourself what you can do per day and use Trello for long-term planning and specifications. And just so you know, I'm just a really organized person, so I love having 2 apps that help me keep track of both what I want to do per day and my future long planning. Do what works for you, but the most important tip is organizing your schedule definitely helps.
Next, we're going to talk about creating balance and minimizing stress. And as a person who personally has a very jammed-packed schedule, this is definitely something that I've struggled with throughout my high school and college experience. However, over the years, I've come up with 3 things that have really contributed to my mental health and well-being, and I'd like to share them with you. First of all, make room for the things that you love. Oftentimes people think that colleges are looking for a long laundry list of extracurriculars, and so you have to do all of these things to get into these good schools. But in reality, if you pursue a couple of extracurriculars, but in a really meaningful way, that can also be super impactful, and sometimes even more impactful. So for me personally, in middle school, I was doing a whole bunch of extracurriculars, but then when I got to high school, classes started to get more demanding, and the extracurriculars themselves started to get more demanding too. So I ended up having to make a difficult decision and cut out some of the extracurriculars that I was doing. And although this was hard in the moment, it ultimately allowed me to free up my schedule and achieve more in each extracurricular. Furthermore, it increased my own overall happiness and well-being because I was only pursuing things that I was genuinely passionate about. And also, some of the activities that I put on hold during high school, I was able to pick up again in college when I had more time. So in general, my first piece of advice is that if the number of extracurriculars that you're pursuing ultimately starts impacting your grades or mental health, definitely consider cutting extracurriculars that you're not as passionate about to make room for the activities that you love. My second piece of advice is to reduce studying distractions. This will help you to shorten your study sessions and make them way more effective. So, like many people, I enjoy watching Netflix and talking to friends, and sometimes that can help to make study sessions more bearable when I do both at the same time. However, I've found that when I try to multitask and do things simultaneously, it actually makes the study sessions longer and prevents me from doing those activities that I love later on. So I found that if I just focus on my homework and just do that for a certain amount of time, then later on I can go hang out with my friends and have fun, and I'll have more time and be less stressed and busy. Also, while you're doing homework, studies show that if you move locations every 2 hours and take short breaks, you'll actually be way more effective when you're studying. Also, put yourself in a studying mindset by creating habits. For me personally, I can't study when I'm laying on my bed because I'm not in a studying mood. I'm in a sleeping mood. So I have to be at a desk. And then I also put on these noise-canceling headphones so I can't hear anything. And then I'm in the study mood and I can really have an effective study session. And also, make sure you put away your phone when you're working, if possible. Because even if your phone is just on your table, your brain will be subconsciously thinking about it. And so you can't focus all of your energy on your work. And so put that away while you're working. And then my third piece of advice is schedule in me time and self-care time. So Xiaomian, when she was talking about her calendar, that is super important. But also make sure to schedule in me time or self-care time into your overall schedule, because that's super important too. Taking time to de-stress, whether it's meditating, yoga, talking to friends, taking a walk, that will ultimately help you to be a better student and also a better, happier person. So those are my tips.
Now we want to cover sleep. And like, we understand as previous students too, like the impossible dilemma of getting sleep, also balancing your studies and extracurriculars. But I think the thing that we forget most about is that sleep literally impacts your health. So it should definitely be a priority, no matter how much like you're getting it. Ultimately, like this is something that like too little can lead to long-term health issues that you won't have to deal with right now, but you'll definitely have to deal with in your late life. And we even like know in like high school culture, even like at least I participated in it, like being competitive, like, oh, who's like having the worst time, who's getting the least sleep. No, like it's not cute. Not getting enough sleep literally like makes your life horrible. And one of the best things about college is that you finally get some sleep, and it's just so nice like seeing how much your life changes because you're just happier as a person. And that's because of when you get all-nighters or just don't get enough sleep, and I like really try to recommend like at least 7 hours somehow for the day, including naps. If you don't get enough sleep, you're overworked. You also aren't developing all the memories that you can in your sleep. Sleep is when you technically develop like memories, you process your memories, and you begin to learn from what you did the last day. So like going into an exam, not sleeping, working an entire all-nighter, you won't be as ready as you would be if you had actually gotten sleep. Deep rooted like that information that you already had, and that's another problem with cramming. It doesn't work. You really should space out your learning. So yeah, please try to get sleep. Please try to take out time in your schedule to get enough sleep. Don't think that cramming and getting all-nighters is either cute or will help you at all. It will ultimately just make it a lot harder to like bear through high school. like every day you're gonna get up and it's just gonna be harder each day, like just getting up and like actually wanting to get like be happy about like what you're doing, because being fatigued all the time will also like take away from like hanging out with friends, doing the things you love. You'll just be like less excited about everything, and that like sucks. You want to be as happy as you can, like doing all of the different things that you love, even if when it's hard right now. Naps. Naps is a contested issue, but really it just depends on you. In terms of like sleep schedule, the best sort of timing you can do with naps is take half an hour naps or less. That way you don't get too far into deep sleep, and then you won't wake up like all still fatigued and grouchy after a nap. That comes from interrupting a REM cycle. REM is like when you actually start dreaming, and if you wake up like in the middle of the dream, you'll be grouchy, you'll feel offset. It might feel even worse than like before you went to sleep. So if you do sleep more than half an hour, make sure that it's in 1.5 hour intervals. So like 1.5 hours, 3 hours, 4.5. Y'all get the point, I assume. If you do sleep more than that, it can definitely interfere with your actual sleep schedule. Also, don't take a nap like at 6 p.m. and then go to sleep at 9 p.m. You won't be able to go to sleep. I did that yesterday. Horrible idea. So please manage your sleep schedule. You'll immediately start to see like these improvements in just like feeling awake, feeling happy, and like being passionate about different things during the day.
So I think that is the end of our.
Before we go into Q&A, let's like go to the next slides and then come back to it.
Oh, yeah. Let's do that first. Don't leave. Wait, am I doing this slide? Oh, okay. Our next webinar is September 2nd, 2 Wednesdays from now. It's from 4 to 5, same time slot, and we're going to be talking about financial aid and scholarships. And George is actually an expert in this topic because he got a full ride to UCLA. That's the thing. He's amazing. So definitely come check that out. The RSVP link is on the slide, and it's also in the Google Classroom. We also have free one-on-one tutoring. So all 3 of us and other BHS alumni, we're offering free tutoring sessions where we talk about college and can help you plan your schedule and do lots of things like reading college essays. It'll be fun, little 30-minute increments, but also sign up for Miss Perez's tutoring because she's amazing as well. We just give advice based off of our own experiences. And we also made a Google Classroom. So like I said before, all of the resources to things we were talking about today are going to be in the Google Classroom, and it won't be emailed to you. So definitely make sure to sign up with that. Take a picture of this slide because that's important. And finally, we made an Instagram. And so make sure to follow that. We have lots of fun quizzes planned, and we'll have all of our latest updates and fun Q&A things. So follow us and interact with our stories because that's fun. And I think that's it. Q&A time.
Yeah, so feel free to start sending questions privately DMing to me or to either of the 3 of us you feel comfortable with. So like we talked about Google Classroom in terms of finding internships and programs, but also I wanted to mention that Ms. Perez sends out a lot of like scholarship info and internship and programs things during the year, so definitely check those out. But yeah, if you do your own research too, like just at different universities, you'll be able to find a lot of information too.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
And anything that Ms. Perez posts, we'll try to repost as well. And so you'll be able to see it in both locations. But Ms. Perez has an Instagram, so go follow her too. She's amazing.
We have another question about clubs. How do you start one? And from there, how would you figure out what you want to do with the club in terms of activities?
Is Saketh on this call? If Saketh is on this call, can you answer that? I don't know if he is.
I don't think he is. But will that be in the post-webinar email?
Yes, that will be all the information on how to start a club. Saketh, who's part of the BTB board, he knows all about club stuff. He's great.
In terms of actually like what you want to do with the club, that's really up to you. But if you like share your ideas with friends, you'll definitely be able to bounce back ideas come up with things together, and it's a lot easier than like trying to be innovative on your own. You can definitely get inspiration from different places, and always feel free to, like, if there's a huge organization that you can support, sponsor them, be an ambassador, whatever little things you can come up with. What are some tips for getting off your phone other than setting timers on social media apps? Because I know many people ignore those.
I have something for that. I have an app called Flora, and basically when you set a timer on the app, it will not let you leave the app or else you'll kill a tree. It's a fake tree, but it makes you really, really sad when you leave the app. And so I always set a timer for that, like 30 minutes. I'll set it on my phone, and then I won't exit out of the app or else I'll kill a tree. And I also hide my phone or give it to one of my friends. I'm doing a group study session.
Lauren, do you want to send the app name on the chat?
It's actually in a Google Classroom, but yeah, I can definitely send it in the chat as well.
So whatever personal things work for you, find an app. Don't kill a tree, please. Question for you, Jamian, what planning app do you use? You mentioned Trello.
Oh, Trello, here.
Also in the Google Classroom.
And again, why are informal projects discouraged from college applications?
They're not discouraged from college applications. We don't encourage you to put it in the extracurricular section, which is where you put like official positions that you've had in clubs, like officer positions or any summer programs that are official, mainly because these are informal, so you don't really have a name for it. However, we do encourage you to write it in your college essays because they're meaningful to you and it can actually stand out. For me, I know that my MIT application definitely stood out because I included that section. Yeah.
And also, there are many ways to pursue like your hobbies in ways that would be formal, and so you could put it on your extracurriculars. For example, if you're a writer and you're interested in creative writing, you can submit your writing to a competition, and then that would be something that you would put on your resume. So there are different ways to transfer your hobbies into official things that you could put on a resume.
That's all the questions for now. If you have any left, please feel free to send them to either of the three of us privately. Yeah.
What other clubs did you guys do besides the ones you talked about? Or did you primarily do those clubs?
I also did math club and track club. Join them. They're really cool. They're really nice people, and it's pretty fun. Yeah.
George?
Yeah, I did Athena. I also did Spare Jamien. Spare is amazing. Please feel free to join them. There's so many different opportunities you can get from Spare, and it's also great for the environment. I also did NHS with Lauren, actually.
We were board members together.
Yeah, leadership opportunity. Yeah, and I did a few clubs. Some of them, I did a multicultural club, and I joined, what's it called? Model UN. But those are actually some of the clubs that I wasn't super involved with, and also like, because I focused on the three other clubs and other things. Oh, I did Russian theater as like an extracurricular, so I guess invested time with like different things. And Jamien and I both did community college classes during high school, and that's a great, like, if you like finish math or like a subject, but you want to keep doing it, like you feel free to take like West Valley courses while you're in high school.
Yeah.
How about you, Lauren?
Oh, yeah, I was a part of NHS, and I founded Bliss, and I was part of Athena as well. I'm trying to think what other clubs I was a part of. I don't think I was a part of any other ones, but a lot of the times when they would have like club fairs, I would sign up for anything that sounded interesting. And then as the year went on, I would slowly like pick and choose which clubs I really wanted to get more involved in. But definitely trying to explore different ones and just trying them out and joining their mind is a great way to find ones that you ultimately resonate with.
And we all did marching band, which kind of took up a lot of our time. And George also did winter guard.
Oh, yeah.
We
I think. Yeah, my senior year I did theater and choir.
So whatever
Okay.
you're
What type of things are you guys involved with? Put it in the chat if you
I'm
want.
just gonna stop the recording now. So if you're watching this on YouTube, bye. But anyway, thanks for coming to our webinar. If you're still in the our Zoom meeting, just ask any questions that you have.
Yeah.
other than